Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Chats with Children. I hope you're safe and well. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Beate Mueller-Tiemann. Hopefully, I've pronounced that correctly, who is the Chief Technology Officer at Cytiva, but she's also a board member of DECHEMA, who are organisers of Akima, which is actually running this year in Frankfurt from the 10th to the 14th of June. And actually, Cytiva have a big presence at Akima this year. So we thought we'd link the two together and do a little preview of Akima, but also learn more about Cytiva and what they're going to be doing at the show. So first of all, Beate, it's lovely to meet you. How are you?
I'm very well, Rizwan. Thank you.
Well, it's lovely to see you. Now, look, before we start, I know this may sound a silly question because I think nearly everybody knows who Cytiva is, but just in case people who are watching this don't know who Cytiva are, could you give viewers a very quick overview of who Cytiva actually are and what you do as a business?
Yeah, certainly. So Cytiva actually has a rich heritage, but the brand is not so old because it's a creation, a word creation that consists of cyto, so that's the cell, and eva is the knowledge. So knowledge about cells, so biotechnology, if you want.
Fantastic.
So Cytiva as a company is a global provider of technologies and services that advance and accelerate the development and the manufacturing of biotherapeutics. So we're going back to a legacy from a carve out of GE Healthcare. So many of our products you will find which have already some more years on their shoulders, you will find still the GE brand on those pieces of equipment. And to those of us who have been around longer in the industry, might still remember that there was also a brand called Pharmacia, which was the starting point of that company. So we are now part of Danaher. Danaher is a global technology provider where many amazing life science companies have found their home. And so did the former Paul Life Science company, was a Danaher company as well. And we're very proud and honored that we had the opportunity since last May, to merge with the former Paul Life Sciences business to actually become the leading solutions provider for the manufacture of biotherapeutics. So this is really, really exciting to be a company of that breadth and size in terms of product portfolio, but also in terms of associates, which really make up our DNA as a company.
Fantastic. Now, look, I'm going to ask you about your background because I was having a look at your LinkedIn profile and you have got a very extensive career. And I just want to give viewers an idea. What is, if you could give a background of your sort of career today in terms of where you were before you were at Cytiva?
Yeah, so I actually joined Cytiva in January of 23. And that was for me quite a big decision, to be honest, because I spent my entire professional life prior to joining Cytiva as Chief Technology Officer in the large pharma company, so in the pharmaceutical space. And that actually started with my master's studies, which I already did in the former Sandoz, which then became Novartis. Then spent many years at Schering, being acquired by Bayer, and also at Sanofi before I joined. That said, I've been in the pharma industry. I've been active across the whole pharmaceutical value chain. So from very early target discovery, protein research topics, many years of lead discovery, lead optimizations, cell line development, and then in the last years, CMC and commercial manufacturing. So therefore, really seen the whole technology side of the pharmaceutical value chain. And this is really what attracted me to Cytiva, to be able to build on that extensive experience, because as you well aware, Cytiva's product portfolio spans exactly that breadth of the value chain. And I'm having an amazing time in this role in Cytiva. Because this is really rewarding to be able to speak to those diverse topics with equal importance here. So this is really, really exciting.
Right. Well, look, That's fantastic. Now I'm really happy to have you here actually, because as a Chief Technical Officer, you're obviously involved in lots of things and are also looking at what trends are going on out there in the marketplace. So I suppose one of the questions I'm sure a lot of people are watching is that what is the secret to innovation? You know, when you are deciding on developing something, what is the secret to make something successful?
So first of all, I would say you have to have a very, very good understanding of the market and of the customers, and you have to be able to link that also to global megatrends.
Right.
So to be able to connect the dots and really understand where the industry is going, what are emerging technologies that are getting to a certain level of maturity along the technology maturity curve, and then to make sure you are there at the right point in time. So that's super important. Can you do this alone? Certainly not. Yeah. So my personal secret recipe to innovation is partnering, partnering, partnering. Yeah. Be it with academic partners, be it with biotechs, but also with our pharma customers.
Right. So one question I can ask you, we were talking off camera about, you know, what the situation is in the market pre-pandemic and now pandemic, post-pandemic. So do you think collaboration has increased since the pandemic and because of the pandemic with other companies?
Yeah, great question. Glad you're asking this, because indeed the pandemic changed many aspects of how we are looking at developing pharmaceutical and in this case vaccine products, right? And we collectively learned to what extent you can actually accelerate in a collaborative setting. And that collaboration not only spans, say, developers, and I'm just thinking about looking at the German footprint, the collaboration between BioNTech and Pfizer, yeah, teaming up and really, really accelerating Project Lightspeed, yeah, the development of this vaccine, which saved the lives of millions of people, yeah. But also collaborating and teaming up with regulators to make things possible, to think out of the box for the benefit of patients. So I think this was the biggest learning the industry took away out of the pandemic. Agility for sure as well in terms of supply chains. So there were also obviously downsides where the industry has to some extent changed paradigms since the pandemic. So the whole topic around supply security became much more prominent in the industry since the pandemic.
Right.
So those would be the two aspects I would like to highlight here on this one.
Now, without giving away any secrets, because obviously I'm sure everyone will be listening saying, well, what can we learn and what's Cytiva up to? But you mentioned obviously that this key to successful innovation is understanding the market and looking at what some of the mega trends are so that you're there at the right place. So from your perspective, what are some of the trends that you have seen within your space over the last year or so?
Well, I would say two things. So monoclonal antibodies are becoming more and more mainstay and are becoming more and more platformized. Yeah.
Right.
So we do see them now going generic in many geographies, and many of those products coming off patent and will open the path for biosimilars. So this is going to be a big topic in the monoclonal space, and we have to think about innovating in that setting. Yeah. Just because things are becoming generic does not mean you shouldn't be innovating in that space anymore. So this is what I'm observing as a trend right now. And that also goes to the technology space, because technological solutions will enable these manufacturing challenges. The second piece for sure are cell and gene therapies.
Right.
Yeah? So the so-called new modalities. And we got a little bit of flavor of this, what was happening around mRNA during the pandemic, as in the vaccine setting. Yeah? But that modality also has a huge potential to disrupt not only the vaccine industry, but also being applied in therapeutic settings. And so yes, so cell and gene we will be seeing, and this is an important one, and we will also be having a highlight session at the Achema on that topic. So we will have speakers coming in, and so those of you who are interested, come by and see us at the highlight session, because we have really inspiring speakers around that topic. So there's amazing things happening. We see more and more approvals in the gene therapy space like AAVs, but we also see amazing clinical success of cell therapies with the CAR-Ts in particular. Many patient lives saved, desperate patients who really had no other treatment options and now, regaining new hope. And this is so rewarding and so amazing to see this, that these quite complicated therapeutics, so these therapies are not easy to manufacture, but we collectively as an industry were able to find solutions for this and are now actually executing that and bringing that to patients. And this is really, really amazing. And this is why this industry is so exciting to be in.
Now, I've got two other questions relating to innovation I want to throw at you, though. One is, how much does the issues of sustainability and environmental impact affect what you're looking at in terms of innovation? And my second question will be, following that, is how big a play does AI and machine learning now impact what you do in terms of innovation?
Hold your thought on AI for a second, because I would like to elaborate a little more on the sustainability,
sure,
which I'm equally passionate about, by the way. So very, very purposeful as well. Yeah. So I think every industry on this planet has a responsibility here to act and move the needle. And this is a call to arms for everybody. So particularly for the biopharma industry and the biotechnology industry, I mean, we are producing and using a lot of single-use equipment,
sure.
and Cytiva is, a big player in that space. So certainly there are many topics that we are addressing right now in terms of what can we do on sustainability. A very visible one to many of those listening to our interview here is one might be when you're ordering Cytiva products, you will not be served with polystyrene boxes where
Right.
you're having your dry ice in being delivered. And when I was still in the laboratory, I was unpacking those boxes on a regular basis and piling up polystyrene boxes in hallways and in laboratories. Yeah. So this we changed and we moved to a renewable packaging solution, which we rolled out now in almost all of the geographies we are serving. So this is really exciting. It's very, very tangible to our customers. But that's not the only action we are taking. Certainly also on renewable energies, we are all in on that topic. What excites me personally was to see that our mother company Danaher just published the ambition and measurable ambition on sustainability goals for the company as well. So we are fully committed here as a company officially on our sustainability and CO2 reduction goals, which is very, very good. So we will do this in a very systematic way. Now, on the consumables and single-use front, here we really need to innovate together with our customers because everything that touches the pharmaceutical product or the drug substance has changes to that process as a regulatory impact.
Sure.
So if you wanted to make changes to those materials, you have to work in lockstep with those using our consumables to make sure that we are showing that those changes we are making for the benefit of the planet will certainly also ensure safety to patients as well as efficacy of the products that our customers are making. So this is a team sport, but we're definitely committed and all in.
Fantastic. And now in terms of AI and machine learning, the impact for you in terms of your innovation and development that you're doing?
So AI obviously is everywhere. And so artificial intelligence for sure is being applied on many fronts. I mean, people are using ChatGPT and things like that. You can analyze your marketing data. So definitely these aspects are very, very important to us. I'm personally passionate, Rizwan, about applying AI in the scientific space. So here I'm seeing amazing things happening. So there are algorithms that can predict protein structures and protein sequences. So there is one which is publicly available, which is called AlphaFold, for example. So this has really transformed the protein design space. Yeah, so this used to be an empirical science. So I remember going to conferences in the early 2000s, and I had on my opening slide, protein expression is an empirical science. Well, for sure enough, 20 years later, this is changing, and this is really exciting. And those will be rewarded who collected their data in a contextualized way, because now this is exactly the data sets that can feed AI and make those algorithms very performing. This is relevant for Cytiva for the design of our capture chromatography ligands, and be assured we're working on this and applying that. But AI is also very much emerging into the material science space beyond proteins. And for example, for our chromatography solutions, that can be very exciting to explore completely new chemical space for matrices. So lots going on the scientific front, and certainly much more to come.
Brilliant. Now let's talk a bit more about Akima, the event then, and Cytiva's involvement with Akima. Now, as I said, you are on the board of DECHEMA as well, which obviously helps organize Akima. So let's just talk about the Akima network first of all, because obviously it's not just an exhibition. They've now expanded it and tried to connect the industry around. And obviously, as an event, it's become more and more focused, or has a bigger focus, I should say, at the event on life science and pharma and biopharma. So how useful do you find the Akima network from someone as who's part of the board, but also as a potential visitor and an exhibitor?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm excited to participate this year in the Akima, not only as representing Cytiva being an exhibitor, but also being on stage on the pharma innovation stage at Akima, and also having been quite active in shaping the topics that we are going to be discussing on the pharma highlight sessions there. So brief comment on DECHEMA and why I'm involved there. So my engagement with DECHEMA dates back quite some years, to be precise, in 2004. I remember giving my inaugural presentation on baculovirus technology to, right, to DECHEMA's cell culture working group. And the cell culture working group is very important because it's the group that really holds together academia and industry in mainly German, but I would say European footprint, ensuring that the topic gets the right attention in terms of funding also for academia, so that we are able as a country to keep educating folks and training our students in that space to be able to drive innovation in the European geography. So this is really, really important because on many occasions it's been thought that all the challenges around biotechnologies are being solved already, and investment has been difficult to obtain. So that's obviously not the case. And this is why I extended my engagement at DECHEMA last year, deciding to become a board member, because I do feel it's very important to highlight that also the biotechnology is an important process industry, not only overseas, but also in our geography, with many pharma and biotech companies in Germany excelling in that space. So we have to make sure we are providing proper visibility and importance to those topics. This is not to diminish the chemistry front, far from it. I think it's complementary. And I assure you, Rizwan, I lived on both sides. So I've spent many years also on the chemistry front. And having experienced both worlds, you know, there are much more things in common than you would actually think. And this is what inspires me also about Achema. So Achema has been a traditional chemical process trade show. So for a chemist, this is a must go since decades. Now it's becoming more and more important also for the biotechnology industry. And I think that's really important because more and more biotechnology truly is also a process industry for monoclonal antibodies, certainly, yeah, because we are manufacturing them in many 1,000-liter volume scale in stainless steel vessels. So same process know-how required as you would also require for a small molecule manufacturing process.
Right.
That said, with the new modalities, you would think, what does this have to do with process industry? And, you know, this is why we also decided to highlight the new therapeutic modalities at Achema this year, because indeed they were coming more from a medical scientific space. But now these treatments are entering commercial space, and therefore process technology topics are very, very relevant to these modalities. So we're welcoming to have those conversations as at Achema with everybody interested at the stages, but also at the Cytiva booth for sure.
Well, let's talk about the Cytiva, because Cytiva sort of, I know there's two sort of main themes which are related to life science pharma. They have the laboratory and analytical techniques group at Akima, but they've also got biopharmaceuticals as well. And you obviously cross over both areas as a company. So, so what is Cytiva focusing on, and what are you doing at Akima this year?
So you will actually find the Cytiva booth quite prominently in the laboratory space. So in the lab science space. That said, at our booth, we will also be representing the biotechnology manufacturing topics. Yeah, so those of the Achema attendees who are searching for us in the manufacturing exhibition areas, please come and see us in the lab space. This is where we are. That said, yes, so both aspects are very important to us. I personally think they're very interconnected, yeah, because innovation starts in the laboratory first. And then if successful, it moves in larger scale, it moves into GMP environment, and it's actually a continuum. And being able to serve that continuum, that's the conviction of Cytiva to do this really, really well for our customers and enable exactly that acceleration from early discovery into the clinic.
And in terms of, you mentioned some of your involvement earlier on. So what sort of activities, apart from the large booth you've got, obviously, and the various products you've got on the stand, what else are you doing at the show in terms of engaging with visitors and educating visitors about the different aspects within lab and also in biopharma?
Yeah, so maybe Cytiva is particularly known for all the solutions we are providing around the traditional monoclonal antibodies. I would now call it traditional, actually. But you know, the innovation that's ongoing in that space, and we touched upon this earlier in our conversation, is also to bring this space into a new on a new level. So everybody talks about biomanufacturing 5.0. I don't know where we saw 4.0 and 3.0, but this is the new branding. And I think what impressed me also about when I joined Cytiva last year, what impressed me about the portfolio is particularly the Flex Factory platform. Yeah? And that's exciting because this is really enabling the vision of biomanufacturing 5.0. So these are integrated solutions which are covering the whole manufacturing process for biotherapeutic, from early seed train up to manufacturing volumes, up to you can stitch together multiple up to 2,000-liter single-use equipment for doing the fermentation, stitching that together then with downstream purification, capture and polishing solutions, and have to have an end-to-end offering for a customer who desires to manufacture a given biotherapeutic. And those are bespoke solutions, but they are on a platform which we call the Flex Factory. So that's really exciting. So we're really happy to engage with customers about this. We have As of today, we have 150 of those flex factory solutions globally installed. So
Right.
it's an amazing product. It eases up when you really want to scale into manufacturing. It eases up exactly that process because you have a trusted partner that can help you to enable this. So this is truly exciting, and happy to talk to this about this at our booth as well.
Fantastic. And have you got any talks at Akima that you are, or any spotlights that you're presenting at Akima?
Yeah, so I'm going to be involved on the innovation stage, and we will be talking about the new generation of modalities. So what we call the advanced medical therapeutics, or the ATMPs. And all the innovation that's happening on the process industry side around those modalities. And Cytiva also has solutions there. And we are actually in the process of gearing up for launch here in that space to enable the CAR-T cell therapy manufacturing process. So that's very, very exciting. Cytiva team has heavily invested to come up with really, really amazing technological solution to enable our customers in being able to produce those quite complex therapeutics in a very robust and agile manner.
Brilliant. Now, sort of finishing up, you were talking obviously when you're talking about being part of the board for DECHEMA, that biotechnology is an area that you wanted to highlight a lot more at the event. And obviously, as someone as a visitor, I know that Akima has gradually increased its footprint, if you like, within the life science, biopharma, and pharma space over the last few events, and are looking to increase it even further, actually, to become more of a core event, if you like, for that part of the industry. But if someone's watching this now and has never been to Akima before and works in biopharma, what would you say to them as to why they should be attending Akima this year?
So my recommendation would be come and see and get inspired by experience the interface of disciplines. Yeah? And this is actually a topic I'm personally passionate about, because I think innovation exactly happens at those interfaces of disciplines. So therefore, here we are talking about the process industry interfacing, for example, chemical and biotechnological processes, and how can we cross-fertilize. And just to name one aspect, I think is very exciting is the topic on process analytical technologies, which are quite present in the chemical industry, not so much yet in the biopharma. Yeah, so industry is moving with big strides in that direction, but can we get some inspiration from our chemistry friends?
Fantastic. Well, look, thank you, Beate, for taking your time. I know you're a very busy lady, so I appreciate you taking time and talking to me today. So there you go, viewers. There's a sort of a mini sneak preview of what you can expect from Cytiva at Akima this year. Now, as I was saying to Beate, if you've never been to Akima before and you're thinking, well, I'm in biopharma, but why should I go there? Hopefully this is giving you a taste for why you should be there. There's so much going on, honestly, at the show. It's over 5 days. There's lots of big halls there with lots of activity and great content, not just with on the exhibition floor with great companies like Cytiva, but also they've got lots of presentations and talks going on throughout each of the days. So please make sure you learn more by clicking on the link above this video, and obviously make sure you check out the Cytiva booth and find out all the exciting things that Beate has been talking about today. So Beate, it's lovely to see you. Thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to me. And viewers, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in Frankfurt for Akima 2024, and look out for the orange trainers and the orange top. So until next time, as always, stay well and stay safe. Thank you very much again, Beate.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Bye-bye.